So, you've recently bought Plague Inc. Evolved and you're wondering, what do I do now? Hey, what's up guys, this is Major Orange and welcome to another video. Today I will be making a tutorial on how to play Plague Inc. Evolved. So let's get straight into it. In the main menu, you'll see 4 different buttons that will be of importance. There's single player, load game, multiplayer, and scenario creator. Single player is basically, you're going to play by yourself. Load game is where you load all your saves. I have a lot of saves. Multiplayer is where you can play with other players. And the scenario creator, you can make your own scenarios, which is I'll be going over in another tutorial. So let's get straight into it with single player. We have the main game official scenarios, custom scenarios, the speed run, and the tutorial. So the official scenarios are scenarios done by the developer. Custom scenarios are scenarios done by the community. Speedrun is where you compete against your friends. To see who can wipe out humanity the fastest. And the tutorial is basically for you guys who don't know how to play. And I really recommend you do this. But I'm kind of doing an in-depth tutorial so that you guys can get, can get the gist of the game pretty quickly. So there are several different disease types, as you can see. We're going to start with bacteria because that's the easiest of them all to do, and then you're going to see this modified genetic code window where you can get all these different genes. But when you start the game, normally only 1 or 2 of these are going to be unlocked. These are essential for your strategy. If you do not have the genetic code, you're going to have a hard time when you're going against different difficulties. So as you can see, I have metabolic, hijack, genetic mimic, which makes it harder to cure. Aerocyte, which makes it easier to spread by air. Extremophile, that gives my plague a minor bonus in all environments, and an ionized helix for a bonus DNA when evolving. There are 4 different difficulties: casual, normal, brutal, and mega brutal. And what these all is, I recommend for new players casual because it's really easy and you can get to grips with the game. But once you're more experienced, you're going to want to go down normal, and once you really find that easy, mega brutal. Brutal and mega brutal is for people who really know what they're doing. And once you've completed all of these diseases in normal mode, you'll be able to get these cheats, which are extremely useful, and I haven't had the chance to get them because the Shadow Plague is actually one of the hardest place to actually complete on normal, so I'm still struggling with that one. And no, I'm not going to go into mega brutal, I'm going to go into normal. So yeah, we're going to play as Neurocontagion, but you can name your plague whatever your heart desires as long as it's within 20 characters. And you can also shuffle it like this. So yeah, I'm just going to go with acute complaint. So as you enter the game, you can see there's a whole world map, and the game's going to tell you, how welcome to Plague Inc. and all this weird intro stuff. So the best starting position to go in the game is Saudi Arabia because they have an airport and a port, which will be very useful for you in the long run. So it says my disease now begins in Saudi Arabia. So as you can see, the first humans will start getting infected, and the disease will be moving at first at a very slow pace because we don't have very many symptoms and stuff evolved, which I'll get into a bit later. But as we start evolving symptoms, we get DNA points, which we will be able to use later on in order to evolve our disease. So we'll just wait until we have enough DNA points to actually do something. And I'm going to go into the disease screen and, run you down all this stuff. So there's the start date, the start location, the plague type, the difficulty, genetic complexity. The more complex this is, the harder they'll have, the harder time they'll have to cure you, and all this average infections and your trend and the evolution history. This is, blank right now because I haven't done any evolution, but this will get bigger as we go on, and these are all our genetic code. Here is the world and cure screen. Once they find out what you are, they will start researching, and they will do it fast depending on your severity. If they start, so you want to stop this and you want to slow this down as much as you can, or Because how you're going to win is you're going to infect the entire population and kill them off before they manage to cure to 100%. That's the basic gist of how you win. You lose, however, if they cure you to 100%, or if you kill all of your hosts and the disease can't spread any further. So now we have enough DNA points to actually do something. Hopefully. Now I can evolve some symptoms such as Air 1, which will enable me to spread in the air. So now it's kind of like a waiting game sometimes when you're waiting for your people to be infected, but you can choose how you want to play the game. I have a theory on how to play the game, basically 3 ways. You have the passive-aggressive, you have the passive and the aggressive. So the passive is basically waiting around, going under the radar, and trying to not get detected, just trying to get the whole world infected before you actually start killing people. Passive-aggressive is when you start flying under the radar at the beginning, but you slowly ramp up your symptoms and your death toll in the middle of everything. So it's kind of a mix between the two. And aggressive is if you go hardcore into your symptoms, you go hardcore into your symptoms, and you basically run the risk of killing off all your hosts and not preventing your disease to spread. Unless you go with the handy symptom called necrosis, which you can get by going down this rash section and down here. But this is not unlocked since we haven't evolved anything. I'm gonna keep evolving so that my disease can spread further. And you can now see that we've now infected like 1,000 people. This basically means that our disease is effectively transmitting between the population and has an R0 greater than 1. Or, yeah, it has an R0 greater than 0.8. Or it has an R0 of at least 1. Now our disease is spreading to Italy. We'll see the infection bubble and you can pop that. But since we have the special genes evolved, we don't really need to worry about that. Now we're going to see, if we click on the, we'll be able to see our total infected all over the world. So it's climbing rapidly. We're almost at 100,000. It's reached it. And based on my estimate, I think we're infecting about 40,000 to 50,000 people a day, maybe. But it's starting to affect more countries, and in a minute you're going to see like this kind of web, because airports are very effective at transmitting, and this airport is particularly effective. And you can see there's red bubbles coming up everywhere because it has infected a lot of countries. And you'll be able to see this development in the this menu once again. Now we've infected a whole ton of more countries, and you'll be able to see this because they are red. Keep evolving symptoms. I'm eventually going to go into abilities so that we can spread faster and get drug resistance so that we can spread faster in medically savvy countries. $5 million infected. We keep going. And if you guys wanted a video on how to make a custom scenario, or how to play official scenarios, or how to do certain difficulty types, please let me know down in the comments, or get 10 likes on this video. So now this has created a nice, and now we're like periodically infecting a lot of people, and we'll see how this gets on. Now let's see what we can do in our abilities. I'm gonna first get drug resistance 1, which will enable me to spread in those countries where the medical system is good. Now you can see that our infected is kind of bit by bit since I all that 72. And now you can see since we've the critical mass in Saudi Arabia, and this is the problem. During the game, if you want to go down the passive route, your disease will periodically mutate. So sometimes this is a good thing, but if you want to go flying out of the radar, I don't just let this. So instead of the ionized helix, I can actually get DNA points for devolving stuff. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I just gained 4 DNA points. You can see we're slowly infecting more and more countries, but I think the country the hardest to infect is Greenland, because they only have one port, and once they close that port and you haven't infected them, basically it's game over and you lose the game, because they're completely isolated. You have no way of getting in there, and it's an awful mess. Now we're really infecting. I have like 21 DNA points. Let's see what else we can get. I'm gonna get cold resistance because we didn't start in a cold climate, so we'll be able to spread a lot faster in those climates. So we now have 145 million infected, and nobody has noticed us, which is amazing. And that is why it's good to do passive strategy. The disadvantage is you will get a lower score at the end of the game, but would you rather be detected early on or really, infect everybody and do it? But now that I think about it, I think I'm gonna go for the passive aggressive, because we're already in the middle, and I'm gonna see if I can wing this. All right, so we have 37, and now as you can see, as you infect a lot of people, you will get a ton of DNA points. Exactly what I like. So we're gonna get drug resistance 2. I'm gonna start going aggressively once I get the aerosol. I will go aggressively, and we'll see how this pans out. So we now have 2 billion people infected. So you can see that most of the Middle East has reached the critical mass. And China is starting to get there. Oh boy. Oh geez, that goes fast. Ooh. Alright. So now you can see by the little pie chart that we have here, 44% of the world is infected, while 56% still remains healthy. And they still haven't detected us. Wonderful. Now I'm going to go aggressively into my symptoms. Now, the quickest way to get to, killing everybody off is going down this route, but I think since I'm still infecting people, I'm going to go down this. In leisure. Not sure which I should do. There we go, necrosis. And immune suppression is after, but we really need DNA points, because if we don't get that... Alright, now they're going to start curing us because they spotted us, and I really hope we can get this stuff. See, now you can see that they've noticed us, and we're starting to kill off some people. Okay, so Greenland has got it. Oh, thank God. Okay, Japan is starting to work on the cure. We need 31 DNA points for this. Come on now. We can do this. Okay. I really hope we can get all of this. Okay. I think we have enough. We have enough for necrosis. Okay. We're still going to be able to infect a lot of people. Even though we are, killing off a lot. Yeah. Even though we are still infecting, we can still manage to do it. We have killed 26 million people already, and now it's a race against time because of that cure. That cure going up fast. Okay, we've killed 60 million people. Keep going. We have 40 million DNA, 40 DNA points. Sorry about that. We should go down hemorrhagic shock, which would really get that up. So now we're gonna start seeing the death rate skyrocket, and I am now going to invest heavily into preventing the cure, which is something that you should always do. I'm gonna do genetic hardening so that it's harder for them to analyze in the lab. And I recommend once the cure gets to a certain percentage that you do genetic reshuffle in order to slow it down. Yeah, this is the problem. But we should be able to increase. We should be able to infect everybody before we kill them all off. But as you can see, this is killing really, really, really fast. And I'm kind of concerned. We'll see what happens if we do genetic reshuffle. As you can see, it kind of sets them back in a second here. We'll be able to see that it sets them back by a couple percentage points. It could mean the difference between completely losing this game and completely winning. Let's see what I can do. So now, when I talked about all of the parts where the ionized helix comes in handy, I can effectively just de-evolve all my symptoms, and you know, we'll be able to be okay. So now all of the countries are starting to break down. Come on, I need Greenland to really be infected very fast. Okay, have they all been infected? I really hope. Okay, so that is the stuff that we needed. So now I'm going to proceed by de-evolving everything, and we're going to have so many DNA points to use. This is why this is a really good strategy. We're going to now genetic reshuffle, genetic hardening, and 2. And we're going to go heavily down into pneumonia, and then we're going to keep going. But at this point, you can safely say that we have effectively wiped out their chances of survival and got them off. So sometimes it's a successful gamble when you go passive aggressive or aggressive, but sometimes it can mean complete disaster where you ultimately lose the game. Yeah, it's not pretty. We're at 40% cure, and now they've placed on the WHO watch list, which is way too late, and I don't know why they're doing that. Gosh, that is embarrassing for the WHO. Now, gosh, it really takes time for it to get all of it. They have no hope left. Now we can slowly watch as humanity falls. And don't remember to pop these if they slow down cure research. And we can slowly. Boy, this is taking time. And now you can see effectively how much they've invested, and we've destroyed a buttload of their cure capacity. And so currently it's 2 years and 41 days until completion, but they're not going to get there in time before it utterly obliterates. So again, if you enjoy my content and you would like to see more, please like and subscribe to the video. And yeah, if you want more plaguing tutorials and everything, and more guides and how to create your own areas eventually, then please leave it in the comments below, and I will consider it. All of your suggestions, and I really do read all of your comments if you post them. Yeah. Gosh, this is taking. Come on. I'm just gonna speed it up just because. Okay. They're falling. It's over. Oh gosh. Okay. This is the things you have to be afraid of, but they're 50%. There we go. Goodbye. Goodbye. Sorry about that. Yeah. And it's about to eradicate humanity and do do do. Oh, they gods. Okay. Come on now. Come on, come on. Now, so victory, and we got a score of 3 out of 5. So I'd say that's a pretty good run, but 734 days. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.